classroom. I have 7th and 8th graders. I don't have any completely EL classrooms, but I have multiple EL students at different levels. So some of the things I've tried to do this year, I've changed my seating so that everything is group seating. That way I can engage students in conversation. I've gone ahead and started the Kagan strategies with numbered heads together, especially in pairs. And I also put a white erase board in the middle so that they can jot down notes and get their thoughts together. I have gone ahead and tried to make sure that I have whatever tools they're going to need for the class, be it markers or be it a text that they're going to need to draw from, that it's going to be on the table for them ready so that my EL students aren't the only ones struggling to try and follow my directions as to what to get out. I've tried to, I did start, one of the things we talked about was making sure everybody feels like they're part of the classroom. So we did go ahead and do a class jobs, and I've never done this before with junior high, but they so far have loved it. I told them we'll switch out every couple of weeks, and as of right now, everybody really enjoys having something to do in the class, and it's something that my ELs could very easily take part in. I have changed the way I've done my word wall. I tried to break everything down like with syllabication for them so that they can have a better, easier time pronouncing it. And I also found just some academic vocabulary that normally I don't put a definition for up, but I thought it may be helpful for some of my lower ELs that may not be familiar with what I mean when I'm asking them to discuss or to summarize. And actually those came in a packet, and so I've got, those are already made up for me to use. The other thing I've tried to do is I'm trying to implement as many images as I possibly can. So like as we're defining things, we're trying to draw out the concepts, like dystopia is just a really big concept and something difficult for them to get. So we're just trying to do a lot of images with that. I also have, since we're very closely tied to our social studies classes and world history as well as geography, I went ahead and got some maps, and I tried to get maps that are going to have lots of pictures on them to help those students. I also am slowly trying to redo a lot of my anchor charts to include more images that show maybe movement and everything as well. Those are some of the things I did visually and with seating. The other thing that I have purchased is I've got several different types of flip charts and the kind that you can tape to the wall for students to use, so that when we do have discussions and we come up with maybe some sentence frames or some examples, I know that transposing for my level 1 and 2 students, transposing that is just really a struggle, so that way it'll be up here for them. I don't have to erase it at the end of every hour and do a new one for each class. The same one that they learned will be on the board. We can just flip to a new chart. We can come back to that one if we need to. Those are just a few of the things that I've done. I guess the final thing is for listening. I've talked to the students about we're trying to download Overdrive so that they can listen to books in their native language for my level 1 students, so that they're still reading even as they're acquiring the English language. And then I'm trying to do more with reader's theater so that they can hear things out loud. So we'll do the reader's theater in addition to a research project, in addition to a novel study. And then the last thing is with images, I'm going to make our argumentation unit is going to be over our World War I and World War II propaganda this year. I'm trying to implement images with that. And then the 7th grade unit is going to be based on the images of Thomas Hart Benton and Norman Rockwell. To tie to regionalism. That way I'm hoping that they'll be a little more engaged, even if they're not understanding the English language. They'll be able to pick up on some things from the images that we use. We've got artwork for to discuss mood. And I think that's about it. And I'm going over my time again. I think it's going to be a great year.